For almost a year, it felt like the entire real estate industry was holding its breath, waiting for this one massive merger to go through. Two huge players were set to become one powerhouse. And then, poof, the deal was off. So what on earth happened? Let's get into it.
And yeah, that's the big headline right there. After all that buildup, the Council of Multiple Listing Services, that's CMLS, and the Real Estate Standards Organization, RESO, have officially walked away. The merger is not happening. So naturally, the first thing everyone asks is, what went wrong? But hang on a second. Is that even the right question? Was this really a failure? Or could it have been a super smart, strategic decision that's actually better for everyone in the long run? That's what we're going to figure out.
Okay, so to really get why this is such a big deal, you first have to know who we're even talking about. So let's do a quick intro to the two main players here, CMLS and RESO.
It is absolutely crucial to understand that these two organizations do very different things. Think of it like this. CMLS is the voice. They represent all the MLSs, they fight for them, they handle the big picture operational stuff. On the other hand, RESO is the blueprint. They're the techie ones who build the data standards, the common language that lets everyone's systems actually talk to each other. So two very different but equally vital roles.
So, with two groups so essential to the industry, you can see why merging them seemed like a slam dunk, right? A real power move. But, well, it wasn't meant to be. Let's dig into the official reason why the whole thing fell apart.
And listen, this wasn't some snap judgment. Both organizations have been really clear that this decision came after a thoughtful exploration. They went into this with the best of intentions, but the deeper they got, the more they realized there were some pretty significant roadblocks. And here it is, straight from the chairs of both organizations. The big sticking point? Governance and structural challenges. So what does that mean in plain English? Basically, they couldn't figure out how a new combined organization would actually work. Who would be in charge? How do you structure the board? When you're trying to mash two completely different missions together, those aren't just little details, they're everything. But, the official statement is only ever part of the story. To get the full picture, it always helps to get an outside expert's take on the whole thing. So let's bring in Clint Scutcheon from the consulting firm T360. Now, he looks at this whole situation and doesn't see a failure at all. In fact, he sees it as a win for clarity. He actually argues that calling the merger off makes total sense for the industry right now. And here's his main point. Forcing these two groups together would have diluted them. It would have watered them down. CMLS would lose its sharp focus as the voice, and RESO would get sidetracked from its mission as the blueprint. And the result? You don't get a stronger super organization, you get a weaker, distracted one, right at a time when the industry really needs them both to be at the top of their game. All right, so the merger is dead, and the expert view is that it's probably for the best. So where does that leave CMLS and RESO? What's the road ahead look like? Now, this is the key thing to get. This is not some messy breakup. Not at all. It's much more of a strategic realignment. They've basically decided they're stronger and more effective apart, but that doesn't mean they're just going to walk away from each other. In fact, their game plan moving forward is all about partnership. They're still going to collaborate on all the big industry issues. They're still committed to supporting MLSs and pushing data standards forward together. They're just going to do it as two focused, independent partners instead of one big, blended organization. And this quote from their joint statement really says it all, doesn't it? Our shared commitment to the industry remains unchanged. Their missions might be separate, but their goal is exactly the same. The teamwork continues, just in a different and maybe even better way. And this whole saga leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. In an industry as complicated and fast-moving as real estate, is a single, united front always the most powerful strategy? Or is there actually more strength in having specialized groups, each with a razor-sharp, dedicated purpose? It's a huge question for the future and definitely something to think about.